Zelensky shocks the nation. Men under 22 could soon be allowed to leave the country. Border rules are changing. A winter admission campaign may give students a second chance. Scholarships are set to rise, but can the state budget handle it? President Zelensky also hits back hard ahead of the Trump-Putin meeting. Nothing about Ukraine without us. And the biggest bombshell: we will not give up Donbas. He reveals what Russia really wants and what secrets he shared with Trump. What's behind these promises? Could they change the course of the war? I am Zurslava Kolesnikova. This is Ukraine Today. Stay with us, the full story is just moments away. Men under 22 may soon be allowed to travel abroad. Zelensky's big move. During the Ukrainian Youth Forum 2025, Youth is Here, President Volodymyr Zelensky made a powerful announcement that could change the game of thousands of young Ukrainians. He instructed the government together with the military to simplify border crossing rules for men under 22.
The military command to explore the possibility of simplifying the process for young Ukrainians to cross the state border. Currently, there is an age restriction of 18 years at the border. I propose raising the age limit to 22 years so that there are no restrictions when crossing. I believe this is a positive and correct move, and it will help many young Ukrainians maintain their ties with Ukraine and realize themselves in Ukraine, first and foremost in Ukraine, to fulfill themselves through education.
Zelensky called it a positive and right story what could help young people stay connected to Ukraine and encourage them to build their future through education here at home.
Also agreed with Prime Minister Yulia Anatolievna and the Minister of Finance to work on increasing scholarships for all students starting next year. This is something that hasn't been done for a long time. We expect to allocate resources for this next year. And that's not a bad thing. Yes, I understand. This is a positive thing. All right?
According to him, this reform should not only make traveling easier, but also create ways for youngs to remain part of Ukrainian society even while abroad. If the government supports the plan, men under 22 will be able to cross the border freely, unlike now when only those under 18 can live without restrictions. A bold shift and a signal of trust in the next generation. Zelensky proposes winter admission, a game-changer for students. President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced a bold reform that could completely reshape for students enter universities during wartime. Speaking at the Ukrainian Youth Forum, he said that a winter admission campaign might soon become a reality.
That is why I instructed the government to simplify the admission requirements for Ukrainian universities. There was also the idea of a winter admission campaign so that if someone couldn't get in during the summer for some reason, they wouldn't have to wait a whole year. There were other proposals as well, and everything needs to be considered as carefully as possible and given proper responses. We agreed on a week, 10 days. Isn't that right, Yuliana Anatolievna? No more than that. Thank you.
In today's hard time, he noted, things are difficult for everyone, especially for those trying to enter universities. Therefore, flexible new opportunities must be created for applicants, especially those affected by war, missile strike and life in bomb shelters. The winter campaign would allow students who missed summer admissions to apply again in just a few months instead of waiting an entire year.
This is something that people have very often asked about, and objectively speaking, it will certainly help many Ukrainian families to feel much more freedom and indeed more confidence. I have instructed the government, Yuliana Anatolievna, and this is important.
Zelensky added that the other ideas to improve access to higher education were also raised during discussions. If the government approves, students as early as next year could choose between a summer or winter enrollment, a first even more in Ukraine's wartime education system. Zelensky announced student scholarship to rise nationwide in 2025. President Volodymyr Zelensky has just dropped major news for Ukrainian students. Starting next year, scholarships for all students will increase, no exceptions.
Of course, even now, we will be increasing support for everyone who achieves significant academic results. We are continuing the relevant programs and will encourage people to achieve even greater results.
This long-awaited move, he said, is something that hasn't been done in years. The government is already working on securing and financial resources to make it happen.
And I also want to specifically acknowledge and thank everyone who involves our Ukrainian youth in various security programs, and everyone who, so to speak, gets involved themselves.
The goal, not just to improve students' financial situation, but to support academic excellence and encourage high performance. Alongside the general increased new support programs for top achievers are also in the works. If this initiative is approved, 2025 could mark a turning point where hard work truly pays off in Ukraine's education system. Nothing about Ukraine without us. Zelensky fires back at Trump-Putin talks. President Volodymyr Zelensky has ensured a clear and powerful message: no decisions about Ukraine but be made without Ukraine at the table.
As for negotiations, in any case they are important at the level of leaders. But it is impossible to talk about Ukraine without Ukraine, and no one will accept that. Therefore, a conversation between the President of the United States, and we support the United States, and Putin can certainly be important for their bilateral track. But they cannot make any decisions about Ukraine without us. And I truly believe and hope that the President of the United States understands and realizes this. Of course, we will have a trilateral meeting at the leaders' level.
Zelensky addressed the headlines about the upcoming meeting between US President Donald Trump and Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. He confirmed that the three-way summit is being planned, though the date has not yet been set.
I don't know the date. If we want to end the war, that's how it will be. And various issues will be raised there. To stand firmly by the truth, by our own deeply held truth, and of course to do absolutely everything within our power to bring an end to this ongoing war. And there are many important things that you hold very closely in your heart, and there are also fundamental things that are enshrined within your nation's constitution.
Ukraine's position, he stressed, is firm. Truth, freedom and independence are non-negotiable, even for the sake of peace. This will be negotiations, Zelensky said, but on our teams and with our presence. For the record, the Trump-Putin meeting is set for August 15th in Alaska, and media sources say the White House may invite President Zelensky to join. Ukraine stands strong and won't be left out of this own future. We will not give up Donbas. Zelensky rejects Russian deal, reveals secret of Trump talks. Ukraine wants peace more than anyone, but not at the cost of its land. In August 12th, during a major press briefing, President Volodymyr Zelensky revealed that Russia is pushing for a trade-off. Ukraine would withdraw from Donbas in exchange of a half in Russian attacks. Zelensky's response was firm and crystal clear.
We will not leave Donbas. We cannot do that. Everyone forgets the key point. Our territories were illegally occupied. For the Russians, Donbas is a launchpad for their next offensive. If we leave it, by choice or under pressure, we will start a third war.
He stressed that no talks about territory can happen without security guardedness. Withdrawing would open the gates to future Russian invasion.
If we leave our fortifications in Donbas, our terrain, the high ground we control, we give Russia a green light. In a few years, Putin will have a direct path to Zaporizhia, Dnipro, and even Kharkiv.
Zelensky gave updates from the front. In Sumy region, 6 out of 18 occupied areas have been liberated, with Ukrainian forces reaching the Russian border. In Luhansk, troops advanced 1 kilometer deeper. In Zaporizhia, defensive position hold steadily. The assaulted Don, Kramatorsk and Dobropilla were Russian moved 10 kilometers without equipment. Some were already eliminated or captured. Zelensky believed this enemy advance a part of a disinformation campaign ahead of the August 15th Trump-Putin meeting.
These same three directions existed last year. They're still using the same maps and plans. Their mission towards Zaporizhia and Pokrovsk was delayed by the battle in Kursk. Now we're seeing the same buildup again.
He also shared insights from a recent call with Donald Trump. Zelensky received that Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff joined in and claimed Russia was ready for a ceasefire but had questions about territory.
Apparently, Putin wants us to leave Donbas. It didn't sound like it was America asking this, but still.
Zelensky underlined that any withdrawal from Donbas violates and constitutions and national interests.
In my view, Russia isn't offering to trade territory. They just want us to stop fighting. It's a shady deal. You give up the land you control, and they offer a ceasefire in return.
He also questioned Europe's absence from these peace talks.
To me, Europe's presence is critical. Right now, no one but Europe is providing real security guarantees, even financially. The funding for our army is a form of security.
Clear red line from Ukraine: no standard, no secret deals, no peace without justice. That's all for today on Ukraine Today. Hit the like button, share this video so more people hear the truth, and drop your comments below. We read every one of them. Your support keeps our work alive, so consider becoming a channel sponsor or helping through the links in the description. Stay strong, stay informed, and stay with Ukraine.